Hello everyone, this is Economics class once again. In this session, I want to discuss market demand and its determining factors. And if we get time, we will touch law of demand as well. Now, if you remember demand, the definition that we did in the last session, market demand is also almost same. In demand, we talk about a particular consumer. In market demand, we talk about all the consumers together at a time. And therefore, when we define demand, it simply means the quantity of commodity a consumer is willing to buy at a particular time during a period of time or not. At a particular price during a period of time. We have used these four factors. The same four factors will be used here as well. It's just that we use the term all the consumers taken together. Understood? And therefore, for 1 mark, all the consumers taken together in the market willing to buy at a particular price during a period of time will be called market demand. I'm repeating, all the consumers taken together willing to buy commodity at a particular price during a given period of time will be called market demand. Understood? Like the factors which affects individual demand, even here in market demand also, there are factors which affects the demand. And therefore, to follow your textbook, we have mentioned 3. Understood? But if the question is, explain the factors affecting market demand for 8 marks, you have to include the 5 factors that I have already explained in the previous class. Including those 5, you will have to explain these 3 as well. Understood? Getting the point or not? It depends on the question. If the question is explain the factors affecting demand, then you have to explain only the 5 factors which I have explained in the earlier session. If the question is explain the factors affecting market demand, including that 5, you have to add these 3 as well. So number of consumers in the market determines as to how much will be the demand in the market. In brief, the larger the number of consumers, the more will be the demand in the market. Likewise, the smaller the number of consumers, the less will be the demand in the market. Meaning, the more the population, the more the demand. Getting the point or not? So this is the first factor which affects market demand. And then we have distribution of income. In the earlier session, if you were listening, I was discussing reducing in the distribution of income and wealth or not. Everybody wants, every government, every welfare state wants to achieve that the inequality between the rich and the poor should be minimized. That's the priority of every government, every welfare state. So suppose if the distribution of income and wealth is such that it benefits the general people as a whole, or if the distribution of income is even, meaning the profit or the benefits are enjoyed by all the people in the country. If distribution of income is like that, demand for consumer goods, demand for necessity goods in the market will be large. Are you all getting the point or not? The distribution of income, the benefits of the government's investment is such that majority of the benefit is enjoyed by the general people like you and I, the poor people. If it happens like that, the demand for consumer goods, the demand for necessity goods in the market will be large. However, if the distribution of income is uneven, if the distribution of income is such that only rich people gets the benefit, what happens in the market? Demand for luxurious goods in the market will be large. Are you all getting the point or not? So, if the distribution of income is uneven, the benefits are enjoyed only by the rich people. Rich people, they always want to enjoy luxurious lives. And therefore, their demand for products in the market will also be all of these luxurious commodities. So depending on the distribution of income, whether it is even or uneven, the demand in the market will be affected. Likewise, we have age-sex composition. Suppose in a particular vicinity, in a particular locality, if the population is composed largely of girl child, Are you listening or not? In a particular locality, if the population is such that it composed mostly of girl child, or maybe just child or children in general, demand for essential goods for the children will be more. All right, baby toys, baby soap, baby clothes, baby oil, so and so forth. If the population, if the sex composition is such that in a particular locality there is only adults, only grown-up fellows, then the demand for the products will also be different. The grown-ups like you and I, what we demand, we demand essential commodities. We want mobile, we want all these gadgets. Or not, so our demand for all this will be more. If the age-sex composition is such that a particular vicinity has only adults or grown-up. Likewise, if the population is such that it is composed largely of the aged people, those people who are already old, the demand for their essential commodities will be more. So depending on the age and sex composition in population, demand will also be affected. So with this, we have come to the end of market demand and its determining factors. Now, you want to look at this law. If you are taking up economics, and if you do not know the meaning of law of demand, you become a laughing stock, because depending on this law, most of the explanations are done. What is law of demand? Later on, you will also come across law of supply. This it has to be in your fingertips, understood? Law of demand states that other things being constant, other things remaining constant, there is an inverse, there is a negative relationship between price and demand. I'll repeat, listen carefully. Law of demand states that other things remaining constant, meaning unchanged, there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Meaning, when price rises, quantity demanded of the commodity will fall. When price rises, quantity demanded of the commodity will fall. That is called inverse or negative relationship. So suppose when price falls, there will be increase in demand. This is called negative relationship or inverse relationship, meaning when one side rises, the other side falls. Likewise, when one side falls, the other side rises. So law of demand states that other things remaining constant or unchanged, there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. So it also means to say that the more the price, when price rises, it simply means when price rises, quantity demanded of the commodity will fall. Inversely, when price falls, quantity demanded of the commodity will rise. That is called inverse relationship. But what do you mean by other things being constant? Other things remained unchanged. What do you mean by that? Now, in the last session, I have discussed factors affecting demand. And in that explanation, I explained 5 factors, or not. So one is own price of the commodity, income of the consumer, change in price of the related goods, then taste and preference of the consumer, and miscellaneous. These are the 5 factors which affects demand, or not. So when we say other things being constant, it means the rest of the factors will remain unchanged. Only the price will change. Getting the point or not? Price of the commodity is also one of the factors. So except this price, the remaining factors, including all these, will remain unchanged. That's what it meant. All things will remain unchanged, meaning all the other factors will remain unchanged, only the price will change. So I'm repeating, law of demand states that other things being constant, meaning all the factors will remain constant, only the price will change. And therefore, other things remaining constant or being constant, there will be an inverse relationship between price and demand, which means the more the price, the less will be the demand. Likewise, the less the price, the more will be the demand. This is simply called law of demand. You have to remember this throughout your economics life. Understood? Now, besides this, the law of demand states that when the price rises, there has to be a fall in demand. Likewise, when the price is B1, let's say, demand is just Q1 here, just an example. But according to the law of demand, when price falls, there has to be a rise in demand or not. So price falls to BO, let's say. When price falls, then, demand increases from Q to Q1. It's increasing. Now, when price rise further to, let's say, B half, then quantity demanded increases from, let's say, Q3, just an example, or not. So this is demand curve. It's very simple. Law of demand states that other things remaining constant, there will be an inverse relationship between price and demand. When price rises, demand falls. When price falls, demand rises. And it is clearly explained here. This is a law of demand, or not. But there are situations we call exceptions. There are situations when demand does not follow this. There are exceptions where law of demand does not hold good. There are exceptions where law of demand is invalid. So I want to discuss some of those situations that happens in the market. Some of such situations are goods expected to become scarce or short in future. So what happens is when the consumers is expecting a future rise in price, the demand for those commodities will rise even when price rises. Suppose some time back in Nagaland, especially in Kohima, there was a rumor where the prices of salt, in Nagamese we call it nimok, the price of salt is going to rise. I don't know how did the rumor start, but it spread like wildfire, and then it spread to all the nooks and corners in Kohima, and therefore people rushed for panic buying. Things like that happen. So in that situation, initially price was unchanged, but because people are panicking to buy the salt, price also slowly and gradually rise. And then even when price rises, demand for salt was also increasing. So law of demand does not hold good in this situation. This happens because of expected scarce of the commodity in the future. The people thinks that there will be a less supply of salt in the market. People will buy up all the salt and there will be no more availability of salt. Scarcity is there. And therefore, even when price rises, people went out and purchased a larger number of salt. When price rises, demand also increasing. So this situation does not hold good with regard to law of demand. That is why this is the first exception. All right, this exception. Number two, we have status symbol goods. So there are rich people who are always on the lookout for a situation to purchase commodities only at a higher price because these are considered status symbol. They want to show off diamond, gold, silver, all these forms of jewelries and expensive cars. Not everybody can, afford all these Mercedes cars or Hummer or, Lamborghini, so and so forth. People buy all these actually to show off. And therefore, even when prices of all these products that I have mentioned rises, people still buy. And therefore, when the prices of jewelry rises, demand also increases. When the prices of all these expensive cars rises, demand increases. In this situation, law of demand does not hold good. Why? Because law of demand states that when price rises, demand should fall. That's the actual law. But in this situation, even when price rises, demand is still rising. And therefore, this is also an exception to the law of demand. Then we have fashion. When somebody follows fashion, he or she does not worry about the change in price. Somebody is always after wearing Nike sportswear, and therefore even when prices of Nike rises, he still buys, he still demands, because that's the fashion. Not only Nike products, but there are, many people who are after fashion. Okay, so outdated products, no matter how much the price falls. Just one example, the outdated products, the prices of all these outdated products are falling. It is already out of fashion, people does not demand, and therefore, both prices and demand is falling. It's happening or not. When somebody is after the fashion, latest fashion, when something new is introduced in the market, it always comes with high price or not. But there are people who are always on the lookout for such opportunity. So in those situations, new product is introduced in the market with a high price, but demand is increasing. Now in this situation, this law does not hold good. It is invalid or not. Likewise, we have necessities. If the product is a necessity good, it does not matter how much the price rises. I'm telling you, people in Nagaland loves to eat pork or not. Because of this pandemic, we know that there are, authorities, there are organizations which are trying to control the price, but we are still not able to do that. We want to eat pork, and therefore, before the pandemic, it was 220 something. Now it has gone up to 350. Still we buy. So prices of pork is rising, but the demand of pork is still increasing. Why? Because it's a necessity good for the Nagas. It's a necessity good for us, or not. Likewise, in times of emergency, like this situation, pandemic, so what happens? It's an emergency situation. We cannot predict, or we cannot think about normal life for a day or two. It's emergency, and therefore in such like situation, we do not care whether the price is rising or not. We just buy. Likewise, we have miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, they have given so many, but I'll mention only one: change in weather. So what happens there when there is an expectation of cyclone or heavy rainfall or storm in a day or two? We take precautions, and therefore before the situation happens, or when we are expecting tsunami, or when we are expecting earthquake, which is going to affect the entire locality, before that happens, we take precautions, and therefore in this situation like change in weather, we go out and buy as much as possible and keep a stock at home for safety reasons or not. So that is called that comes under miscellaneous. So many, but I'll just the exceptions to the law of demand, I'll just wind up from here. Now before I make a conclusion, I want to remind you once again that this law of demand is very important. Basing on this law, there are many topics which is explained in the later part of the chapter. So you please try to remember this law of demand states that other things being constant, there is an inverse or negative relationship between price and demand. When price rises, there will be a fall in demand. Likewise, when price falls, there will be a rise in demand. So with this, I conclude my session. Stay safe. Thank you.